The Raven's heir. Soon as one of them's caught, another one takes his place. Hey, Harold, have you read this? Harold? 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 You hear me? This is no time for fun and games.
Shh! Calm down. I'm a copper. We're on the same side.
A copper? What are you doing here? And where's Harold?
Harold? Well, there's another guard back there unconscious. That's probably him. The Eye of the Sphinx. Where is it?
It's there.
Oh, good. Then he hasn't got it yet.
You mean the Raven's heir?
Shh! Turn it off. He's gonna steal the eye.
But how do you know?
Doesn't matter. All that matters is that we catch him. Do you understand?
Yeah, but
Do you understand? You and me, mate. We'll be heroes. All right, now, we just have to...
what?
Halt! Stop! You're under arrest!
Hands up!
I don't have time to play. I'm on duty.
You're funny, but you don't look like a real cop. You don't even have a revolver.
Why do you need the gun?
It's the Raven. He was gunned down, so now I need a pistol.
Dead birds don't need guns. Nor do live ones.
You don't know who the Raven is, do you? He's the greatest burglar ever. He stole paintings from the Louvre, and those priceless eggs with gold and diamonds and stuff. And Bobby Dobbs says he replaced the crown jewels with rhinestones.
I know who the Raven was. Although, I don't quite buy that bit about the crown jewels. You do know these days there are thieves far more dangerous than your old Raven. 2 days ago, a precious ruby was stolen from the British Museum. There was an explosion. A guard was severely injured.
Really?
Yeah. And you know what the papers say?
You talk too much, Constable.
Zellner, monsieur. Anton Jakob Zelda.
Or did he pull a gun on you?
No, monsieur.
Get a move on.
Inspector Legrand, it's a great honor to work with a celebrity like you.
We appreciate the support of the Swiss police, but it'd be better if you'd remain seated and keep an eye on things.
But monsieur, your journey on this train is most unusual. Is it related to the burglary at the British Museum?
Not in the least.
And the safe? What's that for?
I'll let you know if we need your help, Constable. If you'll excuse me, I'll be in the first freight car at the back of the train for the rest of the trip.
I'm not here to enjoy the beautiful scenery. I am a good observer, and I have finely honed powers of deduction.
Thanks to that?
I watched the people on the platform in Zurich. I know, for example, that man over there is a violinist.
That would be more impressive if there weren't a violin case next to him.
And I believe that the gentleman in the next carriage is a German doctor on his way to Italy to take up a new position.
And what gives you that idea?
There's the rod of Asclepius engraved on his cufflink. And he's carrying a German-Italian dictionary.
Maybe he's just taking a holiday in Italy, following in Goethe's footsteps.
Too much luggage. And no, he's not retiring to Italy either. The suitcases are too shabby for me to believe that he can afford to retire in his late 50s.
All right then, Constable...
Zelda.
Constable Zelda. If you're such a clever fellow, what am I doing on this train?
I think you're looking for someone.
You're just guessing. If I were looking for someone, I wouldn't spend the trip cooped up in a freight car, now would I?
Well, that would seem to indicate that you're guarding something.
And what might it be?
I really couldn't say. But it must be very important.
Why is that?
Because you are very important. They wouldn't have assigned the case to you if it were just a trifle.
Let's assume that we really are transporting something very important on this train. And let's assume that it really is my job to see that it arrives safely. Then why isn't the train crawling with police?
You don't want to arouse attention.
Évident. But why not?
It's a trap.
You've got a vivid imagination. Well, that is impressive, I admit. But
You won't.
won't? Pardonnez-moi.
I can help. And I will help. You're in my country. And I've been ordered to assist you. And that's exactly what I'll do.
Clever and stubborn. Your commitment speaks volumes, Zelna. But this is my show, and I don't need you. Bon voyage.
But how do you know? Oh, hello.
You cheated.
I did what?
I saw you talking to the German doctor on the platform. He told you everything himself, and you were just pretending to put two and two together.
And what of it? Do you know who that is? That's Inspector Nicholas Legrand. You have to impress him if you want to work with him.
I'm going to tell on you.
You'd really tell on me? To the very policeman who shot your dear Raven?
Whoa, it was him?
Mm-hmm. Hunted and killed Europe's most famous burglar. That's how he got his start.
I won't tell him a thing.
I wouldn't either. What's your name again?
Matthew Miller, from Dillsburg, Pennsylvania.
All right, Matthew Miller from Dillsburg, Pennsylvania. I have to do my work now.
Everyone calls me Matt. Well, except for my mom. She calls me Maddie, as if I were a little kid.
Whether Legrand wants my help or not, I'll keep my eyes open. Maybe I can change his mind. All right. We Swiss are crazy about trains. We don't just have a lot of railroads. We have the most beautiful ones in the world.
Would you be so kind as to close the window? I don't want to sit in the draught.
Oh, pardon me. The Vicarage in the Mirror. A detective novel by my favorite author, Lady Clarissa Westmacott. For years now, I've been trying to convince my theater group to stage one of her plays. I'll leave it there. I'll pick it up. The large map shows the different routes of the Orient Express. This train began in Paris and ends in Istanbul, as usual. Unfortunately, it will make most... The train covers a distance of more than 3... In many cities, they entertain the travelers with local specialities. This is the first car. The coal tender should be directly beyond... The violinist is a good-looking fellow, and he's traveling through the most beautiful mountain. But one can only hope that his violin is better. Hello, sir.
Hello.
If I'm not mistaken, you're...
That's true.
A wonderful instrument.
That's why I learned to play it.
Do you play in an orchestra?
No, orchestra.
A solo violinist. The best solo.
In that case,
Are you traveling to Istanbul?
No. I'll transfer in Venice to a ship. I'm on my way to Cairo.
Cairo?
I'm performing at the reception in the Egyptian Museum there.
I'm sure your recital will be a great song. But tell me, did you notice
Anything on
persons acting?
For heaven's sake.
Everything is in order.
I understand.
Have a good...
Thank you.
There could be many reasons for the violinist. My money's on alcohol.
Very kind of you. Thanks. Oh, pardon me.
No problem. The uniform...
Lucio. Professor Edgar Lucio.
Oh. Are you a scientist?
No, I work at the British Museum in London.
You don't say. May I ask where you...
Of course. To Venice. I'm going to meet some colleagues there.
Oh, Venice. A beautiful city, so I'm told.
Indeed. But I really have to take my leave now.
If you work in the British Museum, then you must...
No.
Oh, no?
There
was a break-in.
Well, let's just say that nothing that's happened in the last 2...
Whatever you say. The famous inspector...
No.
You don't know him? And you also don't...
No.
Just a thought. You're a representative...
I'm sorry. And now, please...
Just one more thing. Did you notice anything
Here? No. Although I did...
I don't want to take up, but you do understand, don't you, that what concerns me is the present.
Yeah, of course, of course.
You'll get in touch if you notice and...
Of course. What's this?
What's the matter, sir?
The door. I can't open it.
Ah, we'll sort it out somehow. The compartment is locked.
But I didn't lock it. I don't even have a key. I asked the steward. He was going to...
Someone locked it.
Find the steward. He needs to bring me the key immediately.
Calm down, Professor. I'll see what...
You don't understand. I have to get back in my compartment.
All right, just wait here. Perhaps a thoughtful conductor noticed that Professor Lucien... You can easily lock the compartment.
But I didn't lock...
Professor, if you had locked the door from in there... He doesn't make a very balanced impression. And he, of all people, isn't... He doesn't make a very... And he... The little label on the door reads Baroness.
Yes, what is it? Whoever that is, James, ask them whether they found my purse and then closed the door. The noise...
You're missing a...
At the very least, it was stolen.
When did you... When was the last time the Baroness saw her purse?
What? In Zurich, on the...
I just asked where...
In Zurich? James, tell him that I still had it when I got out to stretch... The Baroness...
Maybe you lost it...
What? The Baroness... I know...
Very well, then. If I might...
I thought he... James, the Baroness...
But... I...
Thank...
I don't believe it. I never thought I'd ever meet you.
Pardon me, but we'd prefer...
It's all right, Miss Miller. I'd like to speak to the inspector.
Unfortunately, just a constable, Lady Westmacott. I'm reading The Vicarage in the Mirror right now, for the 5th time at least.
That's nice, Constable...
Zellner. Anton Jakob Zellner.
This is my companion, Miss Miller.
A pleasure. May I ask?
Holiday? Yes, so to speak.
Madam?
I've been writing since I was a little... and now I've stopped.
You quit? I have all of your books. Your Detective Partout is my favorite character.
Then I have bad news for you. I killed the old wretch off years ago.
I don't understand.
I'd rather not.
Oh, well, fine. There's something... A passenger's... I suppose...
I'm sorry, Constable Zellner.
Have you asked Maddie is good at finding things.
I'll go and do that. Are you traveling to...
No. We are on our way. As you may know, I have a penchant for archaeology. I fund a few excavations. I traveled to Egypt by ship as a young woman.
I see. As a writer, you have to study the behavior.
I solved the mystery of human nature, and since then, most...
Really? I had the impression you were eyeing me.
What do you want to know, Constable?
Did you notice the man who just...
I did. He was waiting at the bar, and since the steward never appeared,
He seems pretty young, but he's already...
Interesting. Just...
Of course. Did you notice...
I certainly did. He introduced himself, and people like him are drawn to wealth and fame.
But his charm...
I know him by name. David Kreutzer. He was a...
Do you think he has...
People like him always have a money problem. No matter how much you give them, they always spend twice as much and complain that they...
Did you notice... What about the... Or the Baron?
I notice that you've asked me about everyone. Isn't that the Frenchman?
I wouldn't...
Well... Why don't you ask me about him and my theory of...
I don't think we should discuss it.
Legrand, will he save the day, or will you...
As much as I'd like to keep...
You were right.
Madam?
I did observe. You seem so... And this is it.
I do hope so.
Then grab it. Even small people can make big change.
I shall do my best. The steward must have forgotten the toothpicks. Normally he would offer them discreetly after dinner. The steward An extraordinary woman. Talented, yet they say she can be Mrs. Miller made a good impression. She wanted to protect Lady Westmore, but she does seem a little... I imagine she has her work cut out for her with Mrs. Miller made a good... Mrs. Miller?
Yes?
The little boy...
Oh, yes.
No, I've already met...
We always call him Professor, because if only someone could just drive the...
Did you notice?
Oh, I'm afraid not.
She's always got an...
You have to tell me.
Good Lord, child.
So?
No.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
There are... but nothing... There are... but... I've loved them since Their only drawback, they don't play... I suppose the steward won't object to me having a look around in his absence. Who'd have thought that one day butterscotch would remind me of my... The pad on which the steward empty. Maybe he didn't use it because there's not much... The steward probably uses the scissors on... These days nearly everything is sealed up tight. A colleague recently told me about... Perhaps he keeps the... Locked. The drawer is locked. And the steward probably... This is the... But as long as he's not around... A shortwave radio. It's a short... I made the acquaintance of...
Mr...
Zellner.
Right.
Any news about the...
Quite something. It must have been professionals. The way that...
People were...
Well, one cannot execute. It seems like the Raven has finally found a...
I'm afraid I won't enjoy his exploits.
That's your...
Tell me...
You mean, except for the fact... No. Is there any...
No.
Constable, please don't think I'm naive. Legarde is his...
Legrand.
If you see... At the train station in Zurich, he put a cash box into the safe. And then kept close. Don't tell me that a man at his pay grade routinely tramps across the...
A cash box?
Precisely. And I believe we both had...
I do indeed.
A ruby was stolen in London. The second jewel, an emerald, is rumored to be in... Both jewels were supposed to be exhibited. It does.
Indeed. Your newspaper, may I borrow it?
You can take the section with the art you're interested in. Here you go.
Dankeschön. There's something else. Do you know what...
I'd like to... I told him to search for my missing suitcase in Zurich. He's probably in cahoots with the thieves. If we don't crack down on vermin like that...
Well, at the...
He's not here doing his...
I meant to add... The Baronet...
Hey, Baron, this train is really full of the creme de la creme. The queen of crime is over there.
Have you seen the...
Unfortunately, do you know Lady Westmacott?
Well, I'm...
Like so many others. I once read in the newspaper that only Shakespeare...
I read that...
She must be filthy rich. As a doctor...
Auf Wiedersehen.
Goodbye,
I made the acquaintance. I'd better... The ladder, it will be suicidal to climb up there while the train is the wind, tunnels. strongly suspect. No, it's open. Hello? Wow.
Don't move a muscle, you feathered fiend.
Put the gun down, Robert. If I may introduce Constable Robert Oliver from the Yard. This is the revered Constable Zellner of the Swiss police, who obviously could...
Then I was right. You really do want...
That's none of your business.
Perhaps that's someone...
And how would I...
With an eye? An eye on its...
Someone has...
I hope you'll acknowledge that I, as a...
Are we still in Switzerland?
I could be your eyes on the train, as long as you...
Oh, really?
Baroness von
Baroness von... Interesting.
Indeed, sir.
But it has nothing.
So, I should...
Why not? But don't expect me to be...
There is a certain Professor Lucien on the train. He's an archaeologist from London.
And what's his story?
Well, it seems...
Locked him out.
Well, yes. The door is locked.
Was it locked from...
It may have been. Do you think the locked door...
Professor Lucien plays an... Well then, Constable Zellner. Be my eyes. Report back to me.
My... What do you know?
He tried to blow me.
Rob, we don't know.
In any event, the new rave...
How do you know it's a man? You could just...
Or...
And anyway, how do you know that it's a new...
Monsieur?
Never mind.
I go attend to the door now.
Good. And, Constable...
Yes?
Don't bother us.
Of course. A thief might get anxious.
Exactement. Knock twice. Then we'll know.
Understood. An investigation on behalf of the Grand that takes me one step closer. If I can convince him of my competence, I might even be able to see this case through to the end. A box with a padlock. I suppose it contains tools for the train's crew, maybe for coupling and uncoupling the cars. At any rate, it's positioned so that it's easier to reach from the ground than from up here. Locked.
Bang, bang!
Huh?
Don't move!
Mad, have you gone mad?
I'll shoot! Hey, my pistol!
You'll get it back in Venice. I could have fallen under the wheels.
I thought you were a ghost.
Ghosts don't exist.
They do too. One just flew past the window.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, man.
The box is...
Oh,
yes, ma'am.
my son didn't make any. It's just that he just walked past us, silent and...
I'm afraid so. He played a trick on. The lad left me no choice but to take a...
I understand. Maddie is a very lively child.
Where is Matt's father?
He's...
Ah.
Could you, leave Maddie's pistol?
Of course. I told...
Very well.
I think it's uncomfortable for her when I talk to her in front... Although she's just knitting. Hello, Matt. Oh, come on. Are you going to be angry?
Until I get my...
I gave it to you.
Oh, man. Couldn't you have just raked me?
Would you have learned anything from that?
I didn't learn anything.
Matt doesn't really... I'm a passenger.
So, there are...
It's been missing for some time now.
The Swiss don't... Oh, no.
Have a good...
Thank you.
Professor...
Yes? Do you have the
Actual...
Please.
I have no reason to bother the fight. We Swiss, we don't just... I don't need the pad. I'll leave the scissors here. I need a bit of wire or something. A shortwave radio. The box is secured. I made the acquaintance. I'd bet. Pills. I'm supposed to take one. My daughter insisted that I take them with me. She was, but I wasn't a... Pills. My daughter, but I... He doesn't make... And he... First, I better see if it doesn't... The wouldn't... Nothing. I don't... The bolt is too short to get a good... I have no reason. I need the right key or a proper... He doesn't make... And he first doesn't... First, the Baroness seemed... I better not bother. There are but... A bit of what? This is the steward's, but as long as I need a bit of, I'd better let him. There are, but I think it's uncomfortable. Mrs. Miller made a good I imagine. There are but the box. Inspector, I'm only to enter the... door. I'm at a... Would you like a butterscotch?
You think you can
I have no reason to. Take it as a peep.
Just 4?
If I'm faster than you, the...
Hey!
Friends again?
Mm-hmm.
All right, then. And no danger.
Okay.
Your mother is...
Yeah, but it's not like... At first I thought, boy, you must be really... But the lady's a bit odd and... But other than that...
The lady has...
Hey!
You and your mother...
I'm only there for the holiday. Most of the time I'm at...
I imagine...
No, it's fine. You always have to be so quiet in the lady's house.
Such a big house with so many places.
You said it.
And how long had...
2 years.
And your father?
He stayed home. I used to go fishing with him. He even let me shoot a real...
And then?
Then Mom fought with him. I was 7.
Oh, and
In 8 months, I'll be 9 years old.
And do you already know what you want to be when you...
We'll see.
Really? You need a lot of talent. I'm an actor in a theater.
You are?
Oh, yes. And I get really deep. I don't just talk like the character. I think... Matt, are you okay?
I think you just have to be good at copying things too.
That wasn't bad. Disturbing, but... The Baroness in the... Do you have any idea?
Do I ever?
Hmm?
That guy over there with the...
What about him?
He picked up something in Zurich.
Really?
Yeah.
You saw him?
Uh-huh.
Did you all...
Nah, but now that I think of it...
I should look in...
I think so.
Tell me, have you... Hopefully they didn't. I'm looking for...
Did you check his things behind?
I'm sure the drawers...
Can't you break it open?
Perhaps.
Ask my mom. She has a lot of hairpins.
So long.
So long.
The kid's not on the foot and The violin case looks pretty old. The best violin. Excuse me. About the...
yeah?
Someone saw you...
What's the meaning of this?
Nobody said... I just wanted to ask you whether... Why did you...
Well, I thought...
Apropos, may I...
Oh, that's...
Very...
Very...
What could harm it here? May I ask?
No, you may not.
I'm afraid I...
Then I'm afraid you need a warrant.
Have a good trip.
Thank you.
I think the violin... But to be sure that Matt was right, how can I do that?
What are you doing?
You're not alone on this train. I want the window open.
Swiss politeness doesn't seem to be... I'm not going to catch a cold because of you.
That makes no sense. The violinist would close the window immediately. We Swiss, we don't... All right, ma'am. The violinist...
Of course he won't. Should I distract him? I could tell him there's a suitcase full of money in the next...
I don't...
Or I could insult him and then run away. He'll try to catch me.
Now that I think about it, this is something I have to attend to on my...
Little boy!
Sorry, Sheriff. So long.
So long.
Let's see. Blah, 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 blah. Eye of the Sphinx. Old news. Shocking burglary. Professional thieves. Constable Robert Oliver from Scotland Yard. Luna's drops. The car. A glass a day. Luna's drop. A story about the upcoming an incredible feat. They build a lot, and because of the main actress's many illnesses, several changes of director, and months of the most expensive movie ever. John Surtees won the Formula One World Championship for the fruit, making him the only man in motorsport. Too loud, too... Mrs.
Yes?
Please excuse my unusual
One of...
It's a long story.
Well, if...
Go ahead, Mary.
Of course.
Is this...
It'll do nicely. Goodbye, Mrs. Miller.
Goodbye, Constable.
And suddenly... Oops. Yep. Batteries, toothbrush, shaving brush. Just this one. I'll leave the scissors here. The box is secure. That's it. There we go. But I never hurt myself seriously. I bet I could really...
Well, come on then.
Hello?
I barely left the window ajar.
Nothing to see.
Ah.
Are you okay?
Hmm? Yes. Fine.
Do you have any...
I don't know. Maybe...
You can't possibly do.
Well, then what's your theory?
The conductor could have locked... On the other hand, it could have been someone here...
Who?
They could have climbed out...
Who would be that?
You tell me. So, what are you hiding?
No?
No value?
Certainly not.
It was enough for a first-class compartment.
That's...
You're playing a dangerous... I'd like to look around.
Of course.
Assuming there... What's this?
What do you have there?
It's a button.
The burglar might...
Maybe. If I notice anyone with a missing button on it... But I wouldn't get my hopes up. If there was a burglar...
If you'd managed to decode hieroglyphics that boggled the best minds of the last 3...
I really want... But I can't just rifle through the Bible, Grimm's fairy tales, Moby Dick. Professor Lucy...
Yes?
Oh.
Well?
Goodbye,
Goodbye.
That will be quite unprofessional. That makes no sense. That makes no... nothing. The tip of the toothpick is stuck.
What nerve? Hey, what are you doing there?
I was taking your case for safekeeping, since it was left here unattended.
I never leave my violin un-
Ah, then no one else. For sure. And
I don't owe you an explanation. Now, take the damned purse to the Baroness. Just get lost.
it won't be that easy. I'll report the incident to the Italian authorities in Venice. I'll inform the authorities.
Oh, Inspector, did you find the Baroness's purse?
I did indeed.
You did! Out of my way, James. Oh, wunderbar. Tremendous work, Inspector.
Constable, Baroness. May I ask,
One is close to the...
have you ever
Do you know how little it defies...
have you heard about the
Heard,
how so?
I'm in charge of the...
Exhibition?
The exhibition, the eyes of... Now that one of them is gone, the exhibition...
On the other hand, there's a chance that all the
Perhaps. But we wanted to show the...
Can you tell?
No, not really. Oh, no. Lucien, poor fellow. The
Professor Lucien...
As director of the Egyptian burglary, Director Thomas told me he was an...
I'll take my leave of you now, Baron.
Yes.
Constable James.
Pardon me, sir.
We could have used you a few minutes ago. Excuse me.
Constable. I sign your...
If it is...
Of course it's but only a small... You are welcome.
Thank you, sir. Another time. Farewell.
Constable.
Professor Lu...
How can I help you?
I believe you and...
Well, what makes you...
It seems like the two of you are running a haulage company.
I won't comment on that.
Tell me, Professor. And if so...
Then all...
That's what we... All the same, it would have been a sin...
Oh.
And the break-in? It wasn't an issue.
All right. The burglary was most upsetting.
And you couldn't just...
The fewer people who know... I can't try...
You not only go... Could it be that your journey... I'm on... But the more you lie to me, I'd like to look around...
Of course.
Did the... Here's something. Might be... They're tough to make out, but I do believe that if I had a forensics kit, I could make... Goodbye,
Goodbye.
The butler, this J... Good day to you.
Can I be
I wanted to... Where did you...
in Pat? The Baroness was there on behalf...
So, you...
We may have been, actually. We left for Dover bright and early, but it was in Paris when we first heard of it. The morning...
And just 2 days later, you were on a train bound...
Indeed, sir.
What?
Nothing. A butler.
If you'll pardon... Are you? That would be a lucky coincidence.
My name, sir?
Your second name is...
Madam considers James to be the...
Isn't Butler?
It is true that the war claimed...
Have you been to...
Indeed, sir. I was a groom.
When you British talk about war, one is never sure which war you mean. It seemed...
Shrapnel from a bomb dropped by a Fokker would not have wounded...
No, of course not. Goodbye, James. I don't think you can tell me anything. Hey, Matt.
I knew it! I'll stay here and keep an eye.
Sounds like a... I'd better let him... Inspector Legrand?
Anything to report?
I got Professor Lucien.
Did you notice anything?
The window was open.
And the professor?
Acted suspiciously.
And?
He seemed to have found what...
Good work.
Now, perhaps you...
All right. We should...
What? The light's gone out.
Flashlights! Ah! Get off me!
There, sir. An envelope.
My dear Nico, you should take a closer look at the box. R.
What the dickens? It's a...
Away with it! Take cover!
Oh, dear. Oh.
Is everyone all right? Are you hurt? Quick thinking. Well done, Zellner.
I think the tunnel collapsed.
Then he's trapped. Hurry, we have to lock the second exit.
Sir, there's a fire up ahead. The engine's burning.
It's a distraction. Hurry, block the exit.
But, sir...
The fire will consume all the oxygen.
He's right, Inspector. A fire in a narrow tunnel is extremely dangerous.
Merde. Go to the front of the train, find the engineer, and tell him to move the train out of the tunnel.
Yes, sir.
Are you ready? You have to uncouple the freight car. You understand?
I understand.
I'll see to the passengers. They should all wait in the tunnel. We'll check each one in turn as they go out.
Let's get to it.